Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take another quick look at KDA. Looks like it broke out as I expected, and we'll go ahead and take a quicker look at that, of course. But more importantly, if you're not a current subscriber, definitely subscribe. I really greatly appreciate that. Furthermore, too, I also have a Patreon community. Basically, it's a Signal community slash trading group where we all learn and grow together. It's an amazing experience. I've been able to teach and help so many people become better traders. So, in case you didn't already know this, I've been trading for about 15 years, and I'm very passionate about, good trading, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two here today, okay? So, that being said, take a look at Kadena. Let's go ahead and start with a 1 hour chart first. Sorry, correction, 1 day chart first, and then work our way down. So, obviously, we had some pretty huge momentum, right? I mean, in 3 trading days, the price went upwards about 170%, and it retraced, obviously, on the 4th day. That makes perfect sense. Anytime you have 3 strong candlesticks without any correction, you usually find the 4th day is a red day. Now, take a look here. Today's so far a green day, and it looks like it's trying to break out from that descending wedge pattern. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that and kind of see that. But normally these are bullish because what they do is they come up, you break. Wow, that's a terrible, terrible drawing. 1 day chart doesn't give us good opportunities. Anyways, we'll take a look at the smaller time frame. You'll see, but this is actually a bullish trend. Now looking here at the RSI, if you bounce off of 70 on the RSI, that's a very good sign, right? So that's basically working as a support level. Looking at the 4 hour chart, here's kind of what's going on. All right, so we can see we're starting to have had lower lows and lower highs, and just here today, there's a good chance we might even be experiencing higher highs and higher lows. We'll look at the smaller time frame to identify that, but that does kind of look like we may have a breakout to the upside here soon. Obviously, it kind of broke out, but I think it will inevitably increase and kind of try again, right? It's just kind of preparing for that, so to speak. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that and see what's going on for the 1 hour chart. All right, so here's that. First of all, here's the descending wedge pattern. And what it looks like is it comes up, and then it eventually breaks out to the upside. So it's pretty much fulfilling that exact same scenario, and that is a very good sign here. So it does look like we broke out, and what we're hoping for is for the price to close above 1775, right? Because that's roughly right where the support level is. That was a previous resistance. So you can see it come up there, tested, broke through, rejected, and then kind of bounced around a little bit right there. So it's trying to figure itself out right now. The key takeaway here is if we get the 1 day candlestick to close in about an hour and a half, then we're going to be in pretty good shape to effectively be considered, the 1775 as a support level. And that's a good consideration to maybe take entry, right? So we got these nice things here. So let's take a look here. So first of all, if we're looking at the charts here, we got this low point here, right? And then we got a higher high, right? Low, higher low, kind of. It's almost a higher low. And then, of course, almost a higher high. So it's close. It's not definitive, right? You can't be like, oh, that's obvious, but it's darn close, and it's definitely trying to break that little channel. So I think this is a pretty good sign here that there's a strong chance we might continue to see a breakout to the upside. I personally like this. Let's see if there's any other bullish momentous indicators here. One only concern is the fact that the price got rejected out at the cloud. So hopefully, if the price were to close above the 1 day candlestick there, or on the 1 day candlestick close above 1775, then we could see a push through the cloud, right? So there's that. And let's go to the 4 hour chart. Did we look at the MACD? I don't think we did. We don't have a convergence quite yet, but you can see that the volume for the bears is effectively kind of dissipating, right? It's kind of going away. So there's a good chance we got this momentum shift. Okay, so I see mostly good indications here. They're not like firm indications. These are not like definitive higher highs and higher lows, but they're definitely higher, and definitely a little bit, the lows are a little bit higher too. But generally speaking, the only concern I have is that the cloud is still above the price action. It couldn't quite break it. But that's not a significant concern because there's a lot of other factors too. But right now we're about 5 hours into this bullish trend, so we could see another 4 to 10 hours, sorry, 4 to 8 hours worth of bullish momentum continuing past that, right? So we very well could see that. And at this point, ultimately, I think we're going to probably see the price continue upwards, but it's testing the support level here first, and if it can hold, then I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. Now, why don't we go ahead and take a quick peek at the 15-minute chart and see if the EMA and VWAP, we are above both, which is good. So the EMA is holding, but the VWAP is a little bit further behind. So if you're new to the channel, just in general, the VWAP is the volume weighted average price. It takes the volume the last 24 hours, expresses it as a price, and what it does basically helps you understand if it's a support or resistance level. Price below, or sorry, the price is above, VWAP is below, that's essentially considered a support, right? So it could effectively bounce off that and continue upwards, but right now it's testing the EMA line, which is kind of just a momentous indicator, letting us know that the bulls are still in control if we can stay above that line. So it's kind of nice. We got the EMA plus the actual support level about 1775. So all good things there. Yeah, I definitely like what I see here from KDA. That is a very good sign here currently. I like to wait for confirmation personally. So, the best thing to do is to wait for the price to consolidate right here at about 1775 before you consider taking entry. And I would say, at least wait for the one-day candlestick to close above that. If the one-day candlestick closes below, we can consider it still a resistance level, and we got to wait a little bit longer to kind of see what's going on, right? That's the general concept there. But all in all, we're looking good here. As you can kind of see, the price went outside the standard deviation lines, and it's kind of correcting itself here. So that's why that extra little kick up here, so to speak, that higher high, didn't continue on, because it was well outside the standard deviation lines, because the volume weighted average price is like, hey, the volume is down here, the price is up there. It's too high. There's this magnetism where the price has to eventually, kind of accumulate around the volume, right? That's why the volume profile is important too. And this is essentially what's causing the problem, right? It's a good problem because we don't want it to go too high, then it'll retrace and come down significantly. If all goes well, this support level here holds, and we're in good shape. Speaking of volume profile, let's take a quick peek at that really quick, just so we can kind of get an understanding of where the most amount of volume is taking place. And this is good. This is right below the current price action, right? So right about 1680 is the strong volume profile. So we've seen the most amount of volume there, as well as the second highest volume profile is right around 1750. So we got kind of an invisible support level created by the volume just below the price. So again, that support level holds. I think it'd be great to take a long position to the upside. Last thing we want to look at is the potential for this coin here and what could happen, obviously, if we were to see a breakout to the upside here. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. So best case scenario here for Kadena, I would say, and again, this very well, just based on its history, it very well could happen soon. But I'm going to say, more loosely, more liberal in the sense that traditionally a coin that ramps up that fast doesn't recover that quickly, right? Because the quicker you go up, the quicker you go down, and the longer it takes to recover. Okay, imagine falling down a flight of stairs. I'm sure you've heard me say this before. It's going to hurt like hell, right? You're gonna fall. You're gonna break your bones. You're gonna be in a wheelchair, neck brace, the whole 9 yards. It's a lot different than falling down one stair, right? You might scuff your knee, you might get back up, you might have to buy a new pair of shoes, but you're going to recover and you're going to get back quickly. This took a massive increase, and it retraced not as strong as a lot of other coins do. So I like the fact that it's done very well for itself in that time frame. So to summarize here, we're looking at $38.50 as a strong potential for the breakout to the upside if we break that resistance level, which is right around 25.50. It's a close approximate. Okay, and this approximate of just say $38.50 could very well happen within the next week or two. Knowing Kadena, it'll probably happen tomorrow when we're all sleeping. But between now and then, there's a little bit of room for, we got still some resistance levels to get past, right? First of all, we got the all-time high, and then we got the strong resistance here at about $20.40. So there's a handful of things going on here. But if you're going to take entry here, for example, at 1775, right, as a rough estimate, consider making your profit targets, because you always want to set 3 profit targets before you jump into a trade, right? That's just the standard. You have to do that. And when you do, you want to make sure to put your targets just below the major resistance levels, right? So this resistance here by Fibonacci is at $20.30. Put it at $20, right? Put your target here for the all-time high at about 25 instead of 25.50. That's how you take profits correctly, right? There's a lot of different nuances there, of course, but that's a general concept of how it works. And that's what I do for my trading community too. I send out signals for my trades, and I let everyone know that these are specific targets, and they're not just pulling numbers out of a hat. They're very much specifically just below Fibonacci retracement lines and or major resistance levels that have been established over and over. KDA is still kind of an uncharted territory in a sense, right? Because it's not used to being in the 17 to 25 range. But you eventually have to kind of use different tools for that as well. Anyways, that's all included. If you're going to consider joining my Patreon community, of course, really awesome group of folks there. Thank you again to my patrons for requesting that not only I cover this, but for just being so awesome and supportive. Like, you keep me motivated, you keep me going, and you make me want to try harder and do right by you. Granted, I always do that in general, but I don't know. I just really do greatly appreciate you guys very much. So thanks again for all that. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll see you then. Take care.